Thanks for tuning into Soul Speak Sound. This is Antonia, and this is Brandon. I'm Dante. We've just listened to Brandon's song, Interstellar Tide. Thank you for performing. Wonderful.
Thank you. It was good fun. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for being here.
We all did it together.
Thank you for tuning in.
So what was your first piece of this song that started the idea, the concept?
It was the first verse. I wrote that whole first verse while I was actually delivering mail. I was a postie for a little while, and that wasn't really where I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always have ideas floating around in my mind, and it was like a transitional phase, but that was the first piece, and I think that was like 5-6 years ago. I wrote that, that verse, and wow. I think I wrote the chorus as well, but I had an idea in my mind about how I wanted it to go, and it kind of had like a country sound in my mind, but it didn't end up that way, and I didn't really want it to go that way. I always tried to find music. I couldn't find any music that that really fit what I was going for until 2 months ago.
Wow, so you've had this in the works for like 5-6 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was mainly just the first verse I had the chorus, I had a bit of the second chorus. I was just trying to figure out where it was going to go. And the music, obviously, was the thing that was holding me back, because otherwise I'd sing it and I'd play it, but I didn't have anything. So, I was just sitting on it for a while until I think I had more inspiration from life experiences, I think. So, yeah.
It's a funny thing. I find when like your ear is way ahead of what you can actually do, I always find that really like a struggle as a songwriter. Like us three songwriters.
Yeah.
I feel like we advance our ears with, I don't know, all this technology of music that we indulge in.
So true. And you think of all the ways it can go. You think, it can be like this song, but then I could make it more pop. But then it could be a mixture of jazz and pop. But I hear some, is it Green Day?
Yeah.
Green Day influence?
Mm-hmm.
Or did that just happen naturally, that it sounded a little bit like that?
I think it just naturally went that way. I can hear that in what you're saying, but I didn't really intend to make it sound like a Green Day song at all.
To me, it sounded like Billy Joel Armstrong's voice, but as the front person of the Whitlams. Like the Whitlams kind of songwriting. And then sprinkle of prog.
Yeah. It's definitely very proggy. I think, and like I said, I just had a verse and a chorus. I had no intentions when I first kind of came up with this idea while I was driving my postie van, that I was going to make this like a progressive kind of like Whitlam, Green Day sounding kind of folk song.
Country.
That story, man.
That's crazy.
So I think it's come a way. I was driving my van, driving my postie van. Yeah.
The post van.
I think it just came to me. I tried to find my solace in a smoke-filled party scene. I think at that time I was trying to just live a different life. I think,
Just we've all been there.
Just and I was literally trying to make my way somewhere, and
in a postie van.
Yeah. I wanted to get out and see the world, And I did edit the lyrics a little bit. Had a few more drug references, to be honest. I toned it down a little bit.
Interesting. I do love like artistry that is bleak and really honest. And I find it funny when people change little things. I understand why, especially for a context such as this one. But yeah, are you going to shy away from that, like live performance, or?
I think it could be one of those cool little things I chuck in there, you know.
Yeah.
Start talking about all the other stuff, but it's only like one line, really. It's only one line. In the first verse, I changed it for this. It's the spend all my time being sorry in those thoughts that beat up me, which I think actually kind of. It slots in there nicely, and it makes it gives it more of a perspective of kind of where I was actually at in my head, rather than it just being there being two lines talking about, you know, drugs. I guess you know, like one is enough, but I could throw it in there every, you know, just chuck it in there.
Improvise a little bit.
Improvise a little bit,
Doing a live show.
For sure. I think
Give them the real thing.
The mega fans will like research into the original lyrics.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like I said, I think this has progressed in a very interesting way from where I originally thought it was going to go. When I wrote the other parts of the song, like from Counting Out the Stars, I See a Fractal Face Out in Space, that whole part, then into the next part, then into the next part, it just kind of came to me. Like like the fractal face part and then the next lyrics, like they just kind of came to me in about 5 minutes. And then I was just playing around with chord progressions, and I wanted it to be something different. I wanted to progress somewhere that was like up and down. And I didn't expect it to have as much push and pull as it kind of did, you know. But then once I got there, I was like, okay, cool. So now I've like let it down. I want to bring it back up again. And I don't want to finish the song there either. I want to keep going even more. So that's kind of the progressive nature of my songwriting, I think, which in the past, it's not been, I guess, received. Well, I don't know how to explain it. I think just because it's not as conventional as, you know, like when writing songs.
Well, yeah, I've actually got a question for that. Because I was thinking, like, this is a very long-form song, kind of like reminiscent of, like, 60s, 70s, or prog. And, yeah, is that what you're pursuing in general? Because in today's climate, like, I think radio songs are what, like, 3 minutes? Yeah, like, it's a tricky balance, because I love long-form prog songs, but
same here.
Yeah,
Guilty of that.
Yeah.
7-minute songs.
Oh yeah, love it.
I'm a huge fan of like one of my favorite albums is "And Justice for All" by Metallica, and there's like 9-minute songs in there.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of just long songs, progressive songs, and yeah, that just kind of shows where my background comes from. I like Metallica. Kind of metal background. I mean, I started playing because I like AC/DC, but you know, like, so I think there's just there's got to be power in my songs. I think at the end of the day, I think there's got to be something that moves you, that makes you feel something in some way. For me, I mean, I'm sure that's what the whole purpose of music is at the end of the day, is to move you in some way. But yeah, I think. More to the point is I like it to have ups and downs, lots of like hooks and turns. So in a progressive nature, it just feels like if I don't have different sections, for me it feels like it's incomplete. I haven't done the song justice. So even with something like I started out with a verse, a chorus, a verse, chorus, which in my mind came to me sounding like a country song. I've gone with it somewhere else. And now I'm happy with it. Like when I came up with that progression, where it kind of came to, I guess it's called like the middle. I don't know if it's a middle eight. It's like a bridgey kind of part. But yeah, I can't even really.
Is that the fractal faces?
Yeah, there's that part. Yeah. Going into that. Once I came out of it, like by the end of it, when it goes from the minor into the major. Once I'd reached that part,
You blended it really, really well.
Yeah.
I I loved how surprised I was, but then how easily it flowed. It was really nice.
When that happens, it's like
Yeah.
it's a good day.
Yeah.
It's a good day. Job done.
Yeah.
So absolutely, I think I'm finding my style, and I always, when I'm writing for myself, not anyone else, I always do that. I just write long form songs that progress into unfamiliar territory, even though it's got songwritery traits.
I have a
So-
question on that. So do you feel like it's been a while since you finished a song now, a few months or a year or?
It's been like a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's been a journey.
It's
so
been a journey,
once
yeah.
you finished it, did you feel like, okay, now I'm done with this, as in this theme, or do you feel like you want to explore this theme again in your next song? Because sometimes as songwriters and singers, we find a sound and we're like, hell yeah, I just found my sound. Or do you feel like, oh, this is amazing and I've outgrown this now? How do you feel about it?
I think there's a lot of there's a very grand scheme of reflection in this song from the start to the finish, and that's definitely something that I explore a lot in my lyrics when I'm writing honestly and writing, raw. It's very introspective, and I think that this is a common theme in my songs. It's from where I was and where I am now and where I want to go, and things that I've learnt and things that I would like other people to at least become aware of, as my perspective.
I found, because I've listened to one of his other songs, Scatterbrain. Did you ever get a chance to listen to that?
No.
It's great.
It's a different vibe
Holding back
altogether.
on me.
Yeah. There's a lot of like kind of third person introspection where it's like a lesson is learnt or being taught.
Yeah.
At least that's what I'm kind of
Yeah.
getting from it.
That's the go.
Yeah.
That-
the purpose of music, as you
Yeah,
said.
absolutely. Yeah, I do really like flipping the perspective around a lot. Just with changing a couple of words, you can have a collective view on it. So I can have my view. Maybe I'll be speaking to someone else, and then it's like all together now. That's kind of I think that's the way I like to write. It's inclusive, and we're all people. At the end of the day, we all go through these things in our own way, and that's it's a way of making it universal, I think. So even with something like Scatterbrain, I don't know if anyone else has heard Scatterbrain, but it's it's a different vibe, but it still has the same kind of reflective introspection. I think as I release more music and everyone sees or hears more of my music, I think you'll pick up on that theme a lot more.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I see you got a few more questions.
I was thinking, what is next, actually? Like, where are you at now? Are you in a recording phase? Are you in a writing phase?
For the song?
For this, whether you, has it been released or
No.
do you want to release it?
Oh, of course, yeah.
So where are you at with that? Whether you want to release this song as a single, or do you want to write more songs and release them all together?
Keeping it real.
Sorry, it was just big applause for that. I love it. How do you feel about that?
I definitely want to release this song. I think this song of all the songs is one of those like triumphant kind of songs,
I'm so
It's okay.
I got the
That's
loudest
okay.
belly. Did you hear that, Millie?
We did have snacks, guys.
I
And,
know.
like, haven't
My
we
stomach
haven't
just grumbled
stabbed you,
so
have we?
loudly. No. I'm totally chilling.
No.
My stomach just grumbles.
test for the
really
dynamic
loudly.
It
mind.
always
Yeah.
happens
Yeah.
at moments like this.
Oh, it's the
doesn't it?
best.
I love it.
I felt it coming too. I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm chilling.
I love this.
Where were we?
We were talking about
releasing.
What is next?
Yeah.
Yes, and whether he would release or
Dante,
yeah.
he just wanted to answer it for me.
I was hungry for more.
Fourth person view. Yeah, you're hungry for more. That's great. Yeah, I think writing this song made me feel like I'd learnt I'd learnt some things in life just based on how I'd been able to reflect back on things and find a way to like navigate, but musically as well. I've placed some relatively interesting chords and I use some interesting kinds of movements. It's okay. It's okay. It'll keep getting me.
When it happens, now it's like I can't stop myself. I have to like, woof. Okay. I'm good.
Yeah, I think this could be a single. This could be a single that I release. It's just like, here's this song. What do you think of it?
We're ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is definitely the first time it's been recorded, released. Anyone's hearing it. It's like, I think the first ever song. Because not even Scatterbrain's like recorded. I've got no songs actually recorded and released anywhere. So
good. How exciting.
And, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You got any like places you think you'll record with, or people, producers?
I mean, I've got a couple of people in mind, but there's no contracts signed or anything like that, I've kind of been a low-profile guy for quite some time, so this is like, bam, really putting me out there. No, is the short answer.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Like, I guess you're probably the most, how do I say, like... Established, thank you. Out of us three, and like, how have you found that kind of experience?
I think I just by doing it in a way, like just writing songs.
I've heard that a lot. It annoys me. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, because you have songs you think, oh, should I release these? Should I not? I think how I started, it was with my first single. Love Through the Telephone, and I met the Sutadi brothers. They're amazing, check them out. And I worked on that song with them for quite some time, and I really loved the outcome and what sound came across. And then I released that, and then I think I didn't release for another 3 years or something. So I kept writing, and then I met another producer and we were working on my next song together. And I think, just by doing it, I was going online, figuring things out, how to release music, how to
scary place.
How do I do it? Like, I didn't know. But then I just went on City Baby. We don't care about advertising, do we? We just, I just went on, I've been on all these different distribution things, but and I just released it. And then there was other songs I released before that Love Through the Telephone song, but I put them down. So you can always do that. So I have released songs on SoundCloud or not on Spotify, or on YouTube, and then I would just later be like, that's not me anymore.
Yeah. I think that's been me for quite some time. Like, because I have got fully completed written songs unreleased. Like, I've got like a solid 12 album set of songs.
I remember you mentioned that to me once. That's I need to see the branded show. I said that to you once
coming.
before.
It's coming.
I'm excited.
It's simmering. And that's the thing. I think it's just bringing it to the table and actually doing it, presenting it. But that's a funny thing. Like, even this song isn't one of those songs. It's like there's just like another 12. There's more than that. Like, there's just a lot of content that I have that I just need to really just bring to the table and give it to the world. Put it out there.
Put it out there.
Are you like planning a really detailed release, or like planning anything like that, or is it just kind of life getting in the way?
I think it's a bit of both. But I mean, more than ever, music is so much the center of my life at the moment. So this is the time to shine. I think it's just because I cover a lot of different genres, but I have a lot of songwriter style songs now to release. Before and after Collarts, the university degree that I'm doing has definitely helped me. But it's it's coming. The
Cool.
Songwriter Brandon is coming. You know,
Amazing.
like Static
Keep it
Dreamer.
up, man.
Static Dreamer is I guess the artist's identification that I'll be using.
Cool.
And then I have another project that I'll do, which is like heavier.
Cool.
So
I love
yeah,
that.
Oh, yeah.
a lot more yelling and screaming.
Awesome. Which we
We're
did see
ready.
a little. Like
Yeah,
a little.
I think that will naturally always just come out in my performance. Yeah, and it's just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do it,
Just
mate.
do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, back to Interstellar Tide. I just want to know, like, how does the lyrics complement the music? Like, how are you going for like prosody? Because I noticed there was a bit of like recoloring in the lyrics. That is a journey song, and then it kind of changes. Like, what were your kind of thoughts?
It's I think it's like at the start it's introspective and it's kind of soft, and then it picks up a little bit in the second verse. But in the choruses it's an time for reflection, time for honesty, time for being raw and real, I guess. But as I change the perspective, me to you to we, it picks up.
Cool.
So that's
Cool.
something that I think I do a lot, but then it's trying to remember, where am I at? Who am I talking about now? You know, is it I? Is it you? Is it we? So that can be a funny thing to juggle in my mind whilst performing. But as far as prosody goes, the waves crashing, waves crash in the ocean blue. That specifically, I think, is quite a heavily influenced part. You know, waves crash. It's supposed to be waves crashing. You know, this kind of ebb and flow of the waves.
Musically, yeah.
Yeah, musically.
Paired with the words of imagery. Like
Yeah,
that's
yep,
really
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really know how else to to
No, that's
elaborate
great.
on that.
Have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
And like, I do like how the perspective change of recoloring. That's awesome.
Mm.
And the essence is like time for rawness, time for honesty, time for reflection. And I think that's all the time we actually have
Yeah.
for this episode.
Yay.
I was proud of that segue.
Yeah. That was a
Thanks
good one.
for sharing.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you for performing.
Oh, thank you. Pleasure is mine. Honoured, really honoured. Thank you. It's been an absolute blast, really. So,
Check out
thanks.
Static Dreamer.
Yeah. Please keep it coming.
I will.
Absolutely.
I will. I
And,
will.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks, guys. We'll
Thank
see
you
you
so much.
later.
See you next time.